Everyone thinks success comes from talent. Everyone thinks smart people always win. But what if I told you the most dangerous enemy of your success is comfort? This is the story of a boy who had big dreams, but wasted his days sleeping, lost in his comfort zone. While he was dreaming, others were quietly building their future, one brick at a time. Then, one habit changed everything. One single decision he made before sunrise. What happened next completely shocked his entire town. It was a transformation no one saw coming. If you've ever felt like you're stuck, like you're not reaching your potential, then you need to hear this. Stay with me until the end, because this story might just expose the real reason your life feels stuck. It's not what you think. In the quiet, simple town of Sundarpur, where life moved at a slow, predictable pace, lived a boy named Rayan. But Rayan's mind was anything but simple or slow. It was a whirlwind of grand dreams. He imagined a future filled with respect, success, and the admiration of everyone around him. He yearned to be important, to be seen, to matter, yet his actions never quite caught up with his ambitions. Every morning, it was his mother's voice that pulled him from sleep long after the sun had climbed high into the sky. Rayan always chose the comfort of his bed. Just 5 more minutes, he'd mumble, but those minutes would stretch into hours. His dreams would remain safely tucked away in his head, never making it into his hands. He'd watch the diligent shopkeepers opening their stores at dawn, the patient teachers guiding their students, and the town officers walking their beats with pride and purpose. He admired their discipline, their commitment. But admiration was a passive feeling. It never spurred him into action. One day he might sit down to study with resolve, only to quit the next, lured away by games, laughter, and a long list of convenient excuses. His dreams, starved of discipline, were slowly fading away. On the edge of town lived an old, retired army officer named Mahesh Datta. His life was a testament to routine. Every single morning, before the sun even thought about rising, he would be outside, cleaning his yard, watering his plants, exercising, and then settling down to read quietly. The same precise routine, every single day, without fail. One lazy afternoon, Rayan found himself watching Mahesh Datta. A seed of curiosity began to sprout within him. He finally walked over and asked, "Datta, why do you live the same day over and over? Don't you ever want to rest? Don't you get tired of it?" Mahesh Datta paused, a gentle smile forming on his weathered face. "Son," he said, his voice calm and steady, "our habits are like seeds. The discipline you plant today is the strength that will feed you tomorrow. Luck doesn't build a life. Daily, consistent actions do." That night, Rayan couldn't sleep. The old man's words echoed in his mind. He saw a slideshow of his own life, unfinished books, broken promises, abandoned goals. For the very first time, he didn't just feel regret. He truly questioned himself. Who was he becoming? The next morning, long before sunrise, Rayan's eyes snapped open. His body screamed for more sleep, for the familiar comfort of his bed. But his mind was louder, replaying Mahesh Datta's words. He pushed himself up and stepped outside. The cold morning air was a shock to his system. He started to run. It wasn't a long run, maybe just a short distance down the road. His chest burned, and his legs felt like they were about to give out. Every part of him wanted to stop, but for the first time he didn't. Day after day, he forced himself out into the pre-dawn chill. The initial pain slowly, almost imperceptibly, transformed into strength. After a week of running, he added a new habit: 1 hour of focused study every single day. There were no grand announcements, no promises made to anyone. There was only quiet, consistent action. The days bled into weeks, and the weeks into months. It wasn't a perfect journey. There were days he failed, days he felt so tired he could barely move. Friends would call, tempting him with easy distractions. But slowly, a new force was taking hold. Discipline began to replace his old habit of making excuses. His body grew stronger, his mind became sharper. A quiet confidence, born not from dreams but from effort, started to grow within him. Rayan was changing, building himself one disciplined day at a time. But he had no idea that a sudden, unexpected challenge was just around the corner. A challenge that would test his newfound resolve. and reveal to everyone, including himself, who he was truly prepared to be. In the quiet village of Sundarpur, a notice appeared. A competitive scholarship, testing both physical strength and academic skill. Panic rippled through the students. They frantically looked for a spark of motivation, a last-minute miracle to save them. But one boy, Rayan, stayed calm. He wasn't waiting for a miracle. He was ready. The running test was scheduled for early morning. As the sun peaked over the horizon, the race began. Some students shot off the starting line like arrows, full of initial fire, only to burn out and quit. Others, seeing the long road ahead, simply gave up halfway. But Rayan was different. He kept a steady, determined pace. It wasn't about being the fastest. It was about finishing. Each step was guided by months of quiet, unseen effort. The early morning jogs when no one was watching, the extra laps when he felt tired. He finished the race, strong and steady, not because of explosive speed, but because of unwavering consistency. Next came the written test. The library buzzed with anxious energy. Students were trying to cram entire textbooks into their minds overnight, hoping to memorize everything at once. Rayan, however, sat quietly at his desk. He wasn't scrambling. He was reviewing. He relied on the knowledge he had built day by day, page by page. It was a foundation built slowly, but built deeply. He understood the concepts. He didn't just memorize the words. His learning was a structure, not a pile of loose bricks. Weeks later, the results were posted. A crowd gathered, hearts pounding. And there it was, Rayan's name, ranked among the very top. Overwhelmed with emotion, he didn't celebrate wildly. Instead, he ran straight to his mentor, Mahesh Datta, his eyes filled with tears of gratitude. He knew what had brought him here. Habits did this, Rayan said, his voice trembling slightly. Wasn't luck, wasn't some special talent. Mahesh Datta placed a hand on his shoulder and smiled warmly. Rayan, he said, remember this? Motivation is what starts the journey. It's the spark that lights the fire. But habits, my boy, habits are the fuel that keeps the fire burning long after the spark has faded. They carry you when motivation is nowhere to be found. From that day forward, Rayan became an example in Sundarpur. Not because he was seen as extraordinarily gifted or special, but because his success was achievable. It was relatable. He showed everyone that the path to success wasn't a secret code. It was a daily practice. He started helping other students, not with grand speeches, but with simple, practical advice. Wake up just a little earlier, he'd say. Read just one more page. Move your body even for a few minutes. Write down your goals, no matter how small they seem. He taught them that greatness wasn't an event. It was a process. Years passed. Rayan grew into a respected, successful, and grounded man. He achieved things many only dreamed of. But through all his accomplishments, he never forgot the fundamental lesson he learned in his small village. He understood that big results never arrive suddenly in a flash of brilliance. They grow quietly, nurtured by the small, consistent actions we take every single day. Daily habits, patience, and consistency, these are the true architects of our destiny. Your future isn't some distant event written in the stars. Your future is being written right now, today, in the choices you make. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's overwhelming, and it rarely works. You just need to start small. Just 10 minutes of reading. Just 5 pages of a book. Just one short walk. Just one single manageable habit. Success doesn't demand greatness from you at the start. It just requires you to show up again and again and again. So the question I have for you is simple. It's looking toward your future. What small seed will you plant tomorrow? Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content on building a better life, one habit at a time. Where in the next one?